Hey everyone, here's how to beat Labyrinth of the Ancients along with the full playthrough. This raid features multiple bosses and the first in the game where, if you mess up, your entire team can easily get wiped out. The rewards are highly collectible, especially if you're a fan of the Final Fantasy series, so let's get started. First, the 3 mini bosses. Nothing too special here, just make sure to stay on the platforms to avoid the damage over time effect from the flooded areas. And here is the first main boss. Make sure the tank lures the dragon to the outermost edge of the battlefield. When the dragon is defeated, it will summon minions, and if these minions reach the dragon, it will absorb them and unleash a one-shot attack that wipes the entire party. Just be sure to eliminate the minions before they reach the dragon. Next mini-boss is Atomos. You'll see 2 glowing circles on the floor and you need to split your party into 2 teams. Each team stands in one of the circles to remove Atomos' damage immunity so the other team can freely attack and defeat Atomos. Here comes the second main boss. Thanatos has a pace where he gains damage immunity. To remove this, simply eliminate all the minions that spawn on the battlefield, and once they're down, you'll be able to deal damage and defeat Thanatos. Here's another mini-boss encounter. Divide your team into 2 groups again, and do not let the 2 bosses stick close to each other. Once both are down, eliminate the large bomb in the middle of the map. Third main boss is Behemoth. The main tank should lure Behemoth away from the group, and watch out for the summoned darkened bombs and take them down immediately. And make sure they don't reach the towers or they'll trigger wide AoE attacks. When the Iron Giant spawns, the secondary tank needs to grab its aggro and keep it away from the comet summoned by Behemoth. If the Iron Giant hits the comet and remove it on the battlefield, your team will get wiped when Behemoth casts its Meteor skill. And when Behemoth casts its Meteor skill, everyone should hide behind the comet to avoid getting one-shot. Repeat this process until Behemoth is defeated. And now the final boss. Divide your party into 2 teams again. Team 1 goes to 3 o'clock and Team 2 goes to 9 o'clock. Pay attention to the boss HP because it has one-shot mechanic that triggers twice. First at 70%, then again at 50%. When this happens, the glowing circle on the floor will activate, and everyone must stand inside to trigger a barrier that protects the team from being one-shot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and here's the full playthrough of the Labyrinth of the Ancients. Good luck everyone and enjoy the raid.